right, man. I might have messed that up. Alright, gotta remove that. Is it supposed to go away? Ah, there we go. Alright guys, man, welcome to the show. That's So Controversial. I want to thank you guys for tuning in, and also I want to thank you guys who have been an active part of the Facebook community. You guys have been coming up with some amazing ideas, and I would love for you to participate on future shows with those great ideas. So today's show, I want to talk about parenting and discipline, and how it relates how we shut up, my wife, this stupid shit. How the way we were raised is how does it affect, if at all, the way we raise our kids, right? Some of us grew up with nothing, so maybe we spoil our kids, right? And stuff like that. So I just want to share some stories of my childhood, because I completely raised my child way differently from when I was coming up. It's crazy. I don't know what it was back then, but things were just so much more different. My parents, I don't know if they got their parenting techniques from watching like old Greek, Roman, medieval times torture techniques. Like, if I asked you what this was, right? It's about, right? You put it around your waist. No, kids today don't understand that this was a weapon of ass destruction. Parents use this shit to whoop your ass, and used to make this crazy sound. The threat is what this shit was crazy. I've got my ass whooped with a belt, and I wasn't even that bad. That's the crazy part. Like, all right, not to talk shit about my other brothers and sisters, but I wasn't as bad as they were. They used to do some crazy shit, kind of deserve some of the ass whoopings they got. Me, I was a pretty chill kid. So I don't know. We just was always like, it's just weird how growing up, I was a real inquisitive kid. I used to ask a lot of questions, and I just thought that was weird because growing up, my parents used to like discourage that shit. They would punish us. We get in trouble. We ask, but why? You want to know why? Nope. I'm good. I'm good. I don't want to know why. Question solved. Problem solved. So, for me, I always thought that it was important to be strict and firm, but also real big on communication. So, I would, like the way I raised my son, right? I try not to negotiate with him, because for me, that's probably the biggest mistake you can make, in my opinion, and I'm not always right. But negotiating with your kid, I just think it's probably the worst thing you can do, because then everything is a negotiation. For example, if you say, all right, if you eat this, I'll give you this. If you go to bed, I'll give you that, right? You you can no longer just have a conversation about going to bed. Now it's like, all right, if I eat this, what you gonna give me? A good night's sleep. That's what you're gonna get. Oh, if I go to bed, what am I gonna get? Nothing. Go to bed. It's crazy. So, I just thought it was an interesting topic. What do you guys do as far as disciplining your kids, and what's your parenting style? Like, how do you approach it? What do you do that's different? What do you do, like, in contrast to how you raised your kid? I actually have a friend of mine, Karimi. Wants to actually jump in on the conversation. I'm gonna send them an invite. Good sir. I didn't even know you could do this. All right, that's pretty cool. All right, I'm gonna send you an invite now, good sir. Add you to the chat. You ready? Let me know in the chat if you're ready, bro. Could throw you in here. Ah, you're yelling. That's all right. If it works, it works. Like I said, yes, there are books on parenting, but they're more like guidelines. They're not like, there's no one style fits all. The main idea is to raise productive and responsible individuals, human beings, right? That's all we can hope for. So hold on, I'm trying to invite One of my friends. 1 second. Bear with me. Where is it? Okay, you can't do it that way. All right, leave me some comments on how you guys go about raising your kids. Like me, I maybe spanked my son one time, and I never did it again because he bruises really, really easy. I gave him one little pop. To me, it was a little pop. For him, he just like thought he was dying and shit. He went into rigor mortis and got all retarded and shit. Shit was I felt horrible. Disciplining works. I tell him to do something, he does it for the most part. He tries to argue, I reiterate it, and he gets it. He's getting it for the most part. He's starting to understand. Let me just get this done really quick. If you guys can bear with me for a moment, we'll continue talking this stuff. Let me know in the comments how you guys are raising your kids, what kind of discipline techniques you're using. Are you a negotiator? Are you? What kind of, if you do negotiate, what do you negotiate for? What are your limits? Like, what do you do? Bear with me. StreamYard.com/what is this? What is this? All right, Karimi, I sent you the invite. I'll be standing by, and I'd love to. Sorry. The guest that I'm inviting right now, he's a Muslim, so I'm curious about how his culture was different with raising his kids and how they were disciplined was like. It's gonna be interesting to get the perspective from a different culture, not just American culture, how they raise their kids. All right, so I smack my throat. She throws a fit and throw things. She thinks she hits things when I yell at her and tells it no. She spanked her doll, and they told it no. It's crazy. I get no chance because they walk off your eye. All right, Abdul, I sent you the invite. I'm not sure if you got it. Let me know. Did you get it? And another thing I do is like when I punish him, for the most part, I personally think it's very, very important to stick to the punishment. No matter if they start behaving right away, because that's a technique they do also, right? They start behaving for 2 minutes and be like, "Can I have it back, please? I was behaving for 43 seconds. Shit, miss me with that bullshit. Okay, here goes my boy Karimi. My guy, what's going on, man?
What's up? What's up? What's going
How you
on?
doing?
How's everything?
I'm good, man. And yourself?
I'm good. I'm good.
All
No
right, so
complaint, bro.
that's great to hear, man. So this show is basically we're talking about parenting styles and discipline, and so I'm curious, you having a Muslim background, how your parents raised you? Was it very religious? Like, did you guys like have really strict rules and regulations? Like, how was discipline growing for you?
That is a interesting topic to talk about, and that's
Hmm.
a great question. All right, this is how it is. The way I grew up in my country. First of all, I want to introduce me to everybody else. Myself.
Hmm.
My name is Abdul Karimi, and originally I'm from Afghanistan, and I came to this country at the age of 7. That's about
Nice.
31 years ago, 30 years ago.
Okay.
And the way I raised up through my parents, my family, especially my father, you know, the way he spoke to us, he was very direct, very strict, but at
Hmm.
the same time, he was very educated about how to raise the children, how to talk to the son this way, and how to talk to the daughter this way. With the son, with me and my brothers, he was very serious because, we got to be a man and we can take a lot of pain. We can overcome that. But with my sisters, he was very soft because they're very fragile. They get very emotional. You say one thing, they break. Like
All right.
even the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, he said, when you talk to your wife, you can't yell at her or fight with her constantly. because we are like the rib, the rib in our
Hmm.
body, the cage of rib.
Right.
If you talk to a woman, their rib bends, it bends, and if you continue, you don't stop, then finally what happens? It breaks, and
Right.
once their rib breaks, they go out of hand. You cannot stop them. I'm
Well, I
sure
gotta tell
that's
you,
how they are.
I don't know if Muhammad will like me because I raise my voice sometimes and I argue. He
I
might
do the
spite
same
me.
thing. I do the same
We're
thing.
not perfect, right? We're not perfect.
We're not perfect.
Like me, I'm a Christian. I adopted Christian values. I'm not a perfect Christian. I don't go to church all the time and stuff like that. But I try to adopt Christian values and apply it to my life. So, for the most part, most religions they preach love, right? Love and understanding. Would you agree with the Muslim belief, with the Muslim
Yes,
faith?
yes, of course, religion, they're supposed to teach you the right way. So back to, what I was saying about me, the way
Right.
my father raised me, he would tell us the first thing he would say to go pray, pray to God, worship, pray. And that itself is a discipline because he knows that if we don't pray, anything can happen. We could go crazy, it could be an argument. But just by praying to God, the Most High, you're already disciplined. Your life is getting straight to the path. So
Okay.
this is how he would use that to us, to give us the right way, the right knowledge through what? Through worshiping. That's
Okay.
his of way of saying, you know what, do this, my son, do that, my son. This is better for you.
All right. Let me ask you a question. Since you said that they kind of like raised you guys different if you was a male or a female, did that affect you in any way? Did you feel like maybe he was more compassionate to your sister because she was a female? Did that ever affect you in any way? I'm curious.
When you're young, oh,
Absolutely.
why you treat her this way? Why you treat me this way? But after a while, you start realizing as you become older, then you realize, this is how they're raised up. This is how you got to treat them. And we just got to, swallow our prides and just, learn from the fathers. Because the fathers is the man of the house. In my country, the
Right.
father is not about the law or what the law says. My father said, this is not the law. In my house, I'm the law. If I tell you what to
Okay.
do, you're going to do it. That's how he disciplined it. And it worked. He
Right.
didn't hit us.
Mm.
He didn't like, he yelled at us. I'm not gonna lie, maybe once, twice he hit me, but the way he hit me was like, listen up, learn. That's how he did it.
I never got hit either. I got abused. I got my ass whooped.
There you go. Whatever works.
I guess I was told love hurts. My parents loved me a lot.
It's tough love, right? Tough love. That's how it is.
Yeah. Let me just address my cousin real quick. Any tips on disciplining a 1 year old with terrible habits? Well, personally, a 1 year old is still developing, and I guess if you didn't start the foundation early, you kind of like a little bit behind on that. But what I would say to a 1 year old, for a 1 year old, is probably like I was saying before, like if you're gonna punish them, like be consistent. Be consistent. Don't. I mean, there's plenty of times where I would when early on when I would discipline my kid, right? And he's just too damn cute. He starts smiling and behaving for 2 seconds. I'm like, all right, you can have back this, then there. I think consistency with your discipline is a huge thing with that. So I know you don't
That's
have any
correct.
kids, right?
No, I don't have kids yet.
Okay, so how do you think you would go about like parenting? Like, what kind of would you still use the same techniques that your parents used to you, or do you think you would? Because I know you're Americanized. Obviously, you adopted some of the American culture and stuff like that. Do you think you would do some kind of like hybrid way of raising your kid, or you would go specifically the way you were doing it with the way your dad did it with you? Oh, and one more thing. Did you see a difference in the way your mom and your dad raised you? Like, did they have different techniques, or they both went strictly off of the Quran or the Muslim faith?
Okay, great question. The way I would do it, me myself, because I raised up and I observed what my father said to me a few times. Like, you know, worship and always keep yourself connected with God, the Most
Hmm.
High, because when you let's say for example, I'll get back to what I'm saying real quick. He
Hmm.
said when you remember God, right? It's
Right.
like how in this world you save money, you go in a bank, you start putting money away. Same
Okay.
thing. When you remember the Most High you worship in the hereafter, the bank account is going to go higher and higher, higher. In other words, you're going to get more reward. You
Right.
understand? And what I would do with my son in the future, inshallah. Inshallah means God willing, by the way, if you guys
Okay.
don't know.
Okay.
Inshallah. And I would do the same thing. Whatever I learned from my father, because
Hmm.
of work and because I see it's for the good path, for the good cause, I'll do the same thing. As a father, I'll get angry. I'll tell him what to do. We have to do that too at the same
That's
time.
hard. That's a hard
But
lesson to learn.
it is a hard lesson. But what I would
But
do
you learn
is,
it.
yeah, you're gonna have to go through that. But as wisdom, you learn. You make mistakes, you learn. I would do the same thing like what my father said to me. Listen, son, learn this Quran, read this, okay? Go to the masjid, pray. Because what it does, if you worship God, the Most High, and then guess what? You're gonna respect everybody else.
Mm.
Makes sense? Yes or yes?
You didn't give me an option.
So there you go. It's yes. So what it's doing is disciplining you. Because think about it. If you don't respect people, you're not respecting yourself. If you
Right.
respect
I can see that.
other
Right.
people, you're respecting yourself. So that's my answer to you.
All right. I appreciate that, man. That's really good advice. So you're gonna be going with a faith-based raising technique, and as long as I think that love is the center of your journey, man, it's gonna be all right, man. It's definitely not easy, man. There's so many different parenting styles. You got to see what works for you. But I'm just a huge proponent of discipline and love, right? I've learned, right, raising my son, that I never just disciplined him, right? I would talk to him, like after I punish him, right? I would have a really calm conversation with him and explain to him why he's punished, right? And then I'll ask him if he understood why he's being punished, right? We would have that conversation. And if he didn't, I would explain it to him again. And then at the end of the conversation, I would also tell him that just because I'm upset with you doesn't mean I don't love you. And that's huge. For me, that's after every time that I discipline him. Like, it's all about controlling your emotions, right? Having a high emotional intelligence. So if you can be empathetic when you speak to your children, it's huge. They're very receptive, because some kids, when you're yelling at them and you're punishing them, they might think that you don't like them, or you're upset with them, or you hate them, and they need to understand that just because they're being disciplined and just because they're being really strict and firm with them does not mean that you don't care for them and that you don't love them. We give him a hug and a kiss, and he would still be punished for the duration of his punishment.
Yeah, that's a good one. Can I share something what I learned?
Absolutely.
Uh, I saw YouTube. What is it? 2 years ago, when I was at work on my lunch break, and there was a Toastmaster. He was a public speaking Toastmaster. How he mentioned, because the topic you said love, you got to give love,
Right.
right? Compassion, you got to be respectful, take care of your kids. That works. You can't be too strict. Too much is no good of anything. You
Right.
have to balance it. So he was saying, long story short, this is for everybody and myself too. He said that, I remember, I thought about my father. I always called my father to see how he's doing. And then when I would call him, he would say, listen, son, we'll talk later. I'll talk to you later because I'm busy right now. Boom. His father would think, his son would think, I don't understand why he did that. And again, repeatedly, he called him again. Hey, Dad, how you doing? Son, listen, I'm busy. I can't talk to you right now. Boom, hang up again. And then he tried again and again so many times. And then he said, hey, Dad, guess what? I have some great news for you. He said, listen, right now I told you so many times, stop calling me. But Dad, this is very important. Hanged up on me. Dude, he was going to give the best speech, the best thing in the world he was going to say to his father to make his father proud. Even though he wasn't there for him, talk to him. He said, Dad, listen, I want the competition of public speaking. I'm the world's first champion. He couldn't even say that. So his heart broke, and now this man became very successful in life. He became the best of the best. He has a lot of fame, very rich, articulated, everything. He has everything in the world. And then one day, vice versa, his father called him. His father, he said, Dad, what happened? He said, Dad, listen, sorry, I can't talk to you right now. I'm busy.
Ouch.
You see?
That hurts. You teach. Yeah, that's kind of like, I know what you're trying to say. Is like, you can't. you teach through your actions, right?
And his father remembered and said, "Oh my God, I did this to my son. It actually came back on me."
Yeah. And that's the other part, man. It's like kids are constantly learning, constantly absorbing. Like even when you're not teaching them, they're learning, they absorb everything you do. And I'll give you some fun, some short little examples real quick. What do you call it? Like I'm always joking around, right? Making jokes. You already know I love to joke and laugh and have a good time. You already
It's
know
good,
more than
yeah.
anybody. You see
You
it.
gotta have fun.
So I see my son like picking up a lot of those little habits, and he gets really snappy sometimes. Sometimes he hit me with a little joke, then a little jab and shit, and I'll be like, all right, he's paying attention. He's saying a lot of shit that I say, and he regurgitates it, and he's becoming witty. It's crazy. Yeah. So they're constantly listening, observing, and they're just taking in everything. You think they're not listening, you think they're not paying attention, and then they'll bring something up that you said, and you'll be like, what the? This little nosy all up in my shit.
Exactly.
Yeah, man.
So that's how it is. Like you gotta balance. You can't be too strict, or you can't be too soft. Because I have a lot of nieces and nephews, and boy, oh boy, if you let them get away, they walk all over you. So you have to put a stop to something. Like me, I'm good with them. I buy them toys. I take them to the video game store. Anything you say, I do. I have fun with them. But the moment they start acting up,
Right.
and I see that they're acting, out of hand, I say to them, listen, stop, sit down. Don't be like that. You have to
Yeah.
respect your mother. I do that because if you don't do that, because they're so used, especially in this country. This
Right.
country is very good. Don't get me wrong, very educated, smart kids.
Uh-huh.
But in this country, everything is free, spoiled. Education, their parents buy them everything. You buy them sneakers or whatever, they become like big shots.
Yeah,
It's
but you know
true,
what I
it's a
think that
fact.
is?
In my
You know,
country, it's not like that. In my
right.
country, they don't have nothing. That's why they're very
Right.
disciplined.
They're appreciating. But you know what I think that comes from? What do you call it? I think that comes from a lot of people who grew up not having things, right? They try to like, I guess, live vicariously through their children. And
No,
I
that's
gotta say,
okay.
I'm guilty
That's
of that
okay.
because like I didn't have a lot of stuff growing up. I had like aluminum foil and I made my own toys with aluminum foil. That was the Play-Doh when I was younger. It was aluminum foil, right? I think a lot of us could relate to that. And so now, right?
That's right. That's right.
My kid has so many toys that every year we throw out about 2 garbage bags, 2 to 3, maybe even 4 garbage. We don't throw it out. We actually donate them now. But he's like, we're constantly buying him shit, and I think it comes from the fact that we didn't have nothing coming up, so we like overcompensate for the stuff that we didn't have coming up, and we just spoil them. But I still try to discipline him. I still like try to like enforce that you got to earn some of this stuff because this
Right,
is,
right. That's what I was gonna say. You gotta like I said. The reason why I said that is it's okay. It's okay. Like I said, me myself, I'm not even the father, but I'm the uncle. I buy them stuff. I buy them toys and everything. But sometimes they just get out of hand. So that's when you have to like you have to let them earn it. For example, it could be the smallest. Go throw out the garbage. If he's 1 year old, it's different. But
right.
go earn it. Go throw out the garbage or help mommy with this, help mommy with that. You could teach them. They could learn, and once they learn it, that's the discipline. You got to use different techniques. Remember, if it's not from straight, it's from the top. If not from the top, it's from the left side, right side.
Okay,
Or
yeah,
just
you
go
find your way
straight
around
through.
it.
You have to find it, like whatever works. If you're yelling, it doesn't work, don't do that too much. If you have to, it's different story. Or if you tell you, oh, listen, help your mommy, that's a discipline. Or go bring me that, or do exercise, that's a discipline. Then he's gonna come closer to you. He's gonna be, oh, my dad is cool. Oh, I
You know
like
what's
him. You know
what?
what? I like that. I wanna listen to me because he's really helping me in different ways. It's subconscious mind.
Yeah, it's funny because like there's times where I'll ask my son to get something that's just out of reach, just like right there, and I'll be like, can you get that for me, right? And he'll be like, but why? You're right there. I'm like, no, you're closer, right? And I do that all the time. And then one time he asked me to get something for him. I'm like, your legs don't aren't broken. Go get them. He says, yeah, but you're closer. And I'm like, oh, all right, all right.
It's okay.
Yeah,
He's still
man.
young. Still
Yeah.
young.
No, but he's
How old is
clever.
he?
That's what I'm saying. He's
He is.
8. He's
He's
8
clever,
going on
man.
16.
So you know what? You just gotta I guess you learn something new. Remember, try different ways and let him earn it. Don't make it too much. Just to let it earn. Like do this, do that. Little by little, it's gonna start picking up. If he likes exercise, tell him to do 5 push-ups.
Oh yeah,
Give me three
he does. He
push-ups.
actually, yeah, he
Whatever.
gets that. Yeah, it's funny. I want to address a comment that one of my friends here. He says
Sure.
his son has a room full of toys, but all he wants to play with is erasers. Yo, my son is exactly this. If I swear to God, all the toys he has, and he'll play like with an accessory of a toy, not the actual toy, with a damn accessory, and that is his go-to toy. I had this coworker. We went out to eat one time, right? And it was my son and a bunch of our coworkers, right? And my son was playing with this little toy, which is his go-to toy. And my coworker takes the toy from him, playing with him, joking around, and my son starts crying. Right? And he's looking at me like, "Is he serious?" I'm like, "Yeah, you just took his favorite fucking toy, bro." He's like, "Are you serious, bro?" Like, you can't give it
It's
back.
crying. You gotta give it. It goes crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they get attached to certain things, man. It's incredible. It's like my friend says. He says he has a room full of toys and he plays with a damn eraser.
That's true.
It's incredible what they get attached to. It's just I don't know. I don't know. So I guess the more you have, the less you want. Because I didn't have nothing and I wanted everything. Every year for like 5 years, my mom promised me like a Genesis. And then one year, my dad finally told me that the reason we didn't get it is because he shot Santa Claus when he was trying to come into the house because we were misbehaving.
That's crazy. Yeah,
Dead
they get
ass.
like that. They get like that.
Yeah, we were
For
broke though.
sure.
We grew up poor as shit. We didn't have like Christmas was a we got clothes for Christmas, alright? That shit was whack. Could you imagine every Christmas you got these boxes and you thinking, oh my god, I'm gonna get some dope ass toys. Jeans, t-shirt.
Yeah.
The fuck you want me to do? Make my own doll? No, that's for you to wear. They use like
Exactly. Yeah, yeah.
holidays to buy you shit that you need.
All you want is the toys, right?
Yeah, that shit was
That's
whack.
funny.
Yeah, so I made my own toys, man. Used aluminum foil and a bunch of other stuff. So, what was it like growing up for you? Like, what's the give me a memory that stands out from your childhood that probably
Okay.
represents something that has to do with discipline, the way your parents disciplined. Did they ever take something away from you that you really, really, really loved, and you felt some kind of way, like start plotting their death? I'm gonna kill my parents, right? Because little kids are so extra, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's funny. It's funny. Since you said the toy part, I want to share that. That's very important when I was a kid. It's sad, but it is what it is. It's okay.
Yeah,
I
no,
don't
go
take it to the
ahead.
heart.
Right.
I remember when I was I think this is gonna make people like go crazy. But when I
Go for
was
it.
yeah, when I was young, I'm talking about young, like 4 or 5 years. I still remember to this day, 4 or 5 years old, and I had no toys. And back home, that time there was like whatever war, fight, stuff like
Right.
that, problems, poverty, people dying left and right. So me myself, I remember when I went outside, I see little kids, playing around and everything, and I'm outside and I don't have a toys. Guess what I'm playing with?
Aw,
It's
a
okay. It's
rock?
okay. A rock, and I would play, like what do you call those? Those those muds. I would play with those muds. I'd try to make a toy or something
Like
to play with
clay?
myself. Clay, no, like the muds from the street, like raining muds.
Oh,
I would
mud,
go out,
really?
I would play with them, and I would just taste them. Like I don't know what I'm doing. What I'm saying is that I have no toys. I'm creative. It's a good thing.
Right.
I'm curious. I'm thinking, what is this? So I remember I'm like, you know what? Because when you don't have a toys to play with, you take anything just to make it a toy or to have a fun with it.
Yeah, it's so
You know
true.
what
For
I
any
mean?
of you who have kids, right? This is the
So
perfect
you guys should
way.
be happy.
Yeah,
Your kids
absolutely.
have toys. It's amazing.
It's incredible what the things that kids find like entertaining, right? Bring a giant ass box home. Watch that shit become their favorite toy. All the toys they have, you bring an empty refrigerator box, they'll love it. They'll love it. That'll be the one that'll be their favorite. They'll be inside that thing playing with other toys and just like it's incredible. Like I'll be unpacking something, right? And my son will take the foam or the little bubble pops and he'll be like, and fun for hours, well minutes, because
Exactly.
you just pop
Exactly.
them.
Kids are very they're very creative. If you let them be, like if you leave them alone,
Mm-hmm.
they'll figure out that big box or fridge or whatever. They'll figure out
Mm-hmm.
to invent it, come up with an idea. That's what a lot of parents, they just hit their kids and tell them don't do this, don't do that, because you never know, they could take this or this, they could make it something to invent it. You don't even know. That's why you can't be hard on your kids. Let them do what they're doing because they're becoming curious.
Yeah.
This is their time to discover something. And once they invent something, guess what? They learn it from a refrigerator or box or something.
Mm-hmm. I wonder how many of you guys are using technology as a babysitter these days. And I myself am guilty of that. Like, we put on the TV so we can have some peace and quiet to clean up the house, to do other stuff. But, you know, how much is excessive? Because I remember, if I'm not mistaken, there was a study that said, I think, like an hour or two of TV is more than enough. And God knows, whew, I'm way past that. And there's sometimes it's like, now YouTube is like your babysitter now. They watch your kids for you. It's crazy. Technology is something that's playing an integral part of our everyday lives now. Hello?
That's right. That's right.
How are
Are
you?
you talking to me or somebody?
Okay. No, I was talking to you.
No, I'm just thinking like it depends, you know, depends on the person what they want to do with it. You know
Right.
what I mean? Like I used to watch, you know, a lot when I was in high school, like you know Jerry Springer and stuff. I just used to waste my time not learning anything. Now I'm like you. I want to produce. I want to grow, and I'm happy that you're
Cool.
doing this because this is something positive. Help the people out.
Yeah, man.
So what you're doing, man, keep it up, bro. That's why I was very excited. I was like, yo, let me come to this show too. Let me see,
Yeah.
let me
Absolutely. I
see how,
appreciate
you
you,
know what I'm
bro.
saying?
You probably saved today's show because when I'm in here by myself, I have nothing to talk about, bro. I'm here just like losing my damn mind. But you know, it
It's
gets a little
okay.
bit. You know what's crazy? Because like one of the reasons I started, there's a couple of reasons why I started doing this, right? One is to conquer my fear of being nervous and performing in front of people, just speaking in front of people. That's a huge thing for me. I have always had an issue with it, and I'm hoping that as I continue to do this, it gets easier and better. I started off earlier this year by taking acting classes. Then the pandemic hit, so the acting classes transitioned to online. It's not quite the same. So then I started doing this, and hopefully with time it gets better. Because every time, like before the show is gonna start, like my heart starts racing and all this nervous. And no matter how much you prepare, and it's funny because a lot of actors and stuff like that, when you talk to them about this stuff, some of them say that that shit never goes away. But the thing that's important is that you know you do it despite of the fear, right? Even if you're scared, you do it anyway.
That's
And
right.
I
That's
think
the
Will
key.
Smith, I think Will Smith said it best. He was like the best things in life are on the other side of fear, and I think that's so true, man. I think that's so true.
I'm gonna give you advice. This is not from nobody. This is from me.
Okay.
I used to be very shy, very fear. Not too long ago, less than 1 year ago. I don't know
Right.
what to say, how to say. I realized one thing.
Mm-hmm.
Just take notes. This is very important. Anybody,
Taking
anybody.
taking notes.
The way you fear, the way
Yeah.
you know you get nervous or whatever. Believe me when I tell you this. This nervousness, like right now, I'm nervous. I'm speaking. I'm pushing myself
Yeah.
because this is the moment right now. While I'm fearing this, nobody knows this. Not a lot of people. The
Right.
moment you feel like your chest, you're nervous, you're scared.
Yeah.
Inside that body, inside that, when you come out of the shell, it's already there. It's gonna come out natural. When you feel like you're scared, it's already coming out because you're pushing it out. Not a lot of people notice. I
Right.
discovered this. Why? Because I said, you know what? I'm nervous, but let me just go face it. And believe me, all the right words, it just comes out. All my confidence just comes out. And nobody even knows that I'm nervous. Nobody knows.
Right. I
Why?
had no
Because I'm
idea.
pushing myself.
Right.
Now you know.
Exactly.
Now you guys know. Now you guys know. This is for everybody. So when you're nervous, just let it out. How else are you gonna learn? Think about it. How else are you
Right.
gonna learn? I just made a video on Instagram. Something just came on my mind. And I said, it's a short clip. I said, you know what? I saw a YouTube years ago on Obama when he was the president. He
Right.
said, ask for help. Asking for help is a sign of strength. Not asking for no help is a sign of weakness.
I can
So
see that.
always ask for help, always ask for support because that's how you're gonna grow in life. And there's everybody wants to help you. You just gotta open your mouth and talk about it.
Yeah, and ask questions, man. Like me, I have a friend of mine, Miguel Sanchez. He's in the technology field. That's what he does. He deals with technology and augmented reality and just AI and stuff like that. So he's the big tech guy that I go to when I'm looking for like help and stuff like that. And I'm always really inquisitive, right? A lot of people say stop asking so many questions, right? When you're growing up, you hear that a
That's
lot.
right. A lot.
It's
Like me, it
actually the
happened.
opposite. It's the opposite, man. Don't be afraid to ask questions. There's no way you know everything. Ask your questions and learn. Put yourself in a position to continuously learning, man. If you don't ask no questions, that's assuming you know everything. You don't. So ask your questions and learn, man. Learn.
Exactly. Like me myself, right? You won't even believe this, but I have a all these years you know me, bro. I have a learning disability. Like
Really?
literally, I have a learning disability. Like I'm having a hard time. But guess what I did? I discovered something. You
What?
remember I told the little child, leave him alone, let him discover, don't bother him.
Right.
You think
Yeah.
it's weird, it's a hurt, but he's discovered. I discovered something this year. I'm not gonna let I'm not gonna let you see learning disability. I'm gonna overcome that, or I'm gonna try to make it better. How?
That's what's up,
By
man.
improve. By how? By improving my communication, taking Toastmaster, public speaking, doing videos, talking to people, strangers. I just discovered that because, Abraham, a lot of successful people, movie star, Hollywood, you just name it, rappers. Most of them, or some of them, they had those learning disability or some kind of disability, mental, whatever, and they're right now what superstar, rappers, Hollywood, singers, bro. That's how you do it. You got to be creative with your own mind. You can't just
Yeah.
depend on education. Education really doesn't teach you. Your self-education is the key in life.
I think another huge key to that also is not being inside your own head and understanding that right now as I'm talking, I forgot what the hell I was gonna say. I completely forgot.
It happens. It happens. Yeah, you're right.
I had a thought. It was a really good thought, and I don't know if the headphones opened up and the fucking thought escaped. But yeah, I forgot what the fuck I
Don't
was
think
gonna
about
say.
it. Come back. That's what I learned too.
Yeah, man. So we strayed so far off the topic, but it was good to talk about those things. If there's anyone else that has any, yeah, absolutely. G, you already know. I had brain fart. He said that's exactly what happened.
Guys, please speak up. Ask questions. It's the
Yeah, man.
time.
If
Don't
you have any
hesitate.
questions in reference, or just any advice, anything that you've tried as a parent that has worked or hasn't worked, it'll be interesting to see. Nonetheless, interesting to hear. So anyway, I am running out of stuff to say, so I just want to thank you for joining me today. I really, really appreciate you, man. Hopefully, I'll see you at in a future show. And I want you to join my Facebook group, right? So we brainstorm there, we talk about different things, and they come up with great, great, great topics. A friend of mine, Guzman, has some fantastic topics. There's other members in the group that talk about other things. I mean, join the group and feel free to post your ideas, your topics, and we'll develop a show around it and we'll talk about it. And I would like to get more than like one person at the time. Exactly, my uncle says Alzheimer's, buddy. You're getting old. Like I want to be able to get at least at least two people at the same time because I want to try to like the idea behind this channel is to talk about topics from different viewpoints, right? Because not all of us think exactly the same. So I'm curious, how people you know have their viewpoints, why they have, like, for example, right, at some point I would like to have like a Trump supporter on here and a Biden supporter, right? And it's tough because sometimes people get too emotional when it comes to those topics. But why can't we have different opinions and just talk about it? Why can't we just be civil? Why can't we just have a difference of opinion? Why does hate have to be the center of all these things, right? You have all lives matter versus black lives matter, and we can have these conversations. It doesn't have to be based on hate. It's like people just get so wired up so easily, man. These are important conversations that we should be having. Maybe someone who's saying all lives matters has a reason for that. Maybe it's not grounded in hate. Maybe they don't understand why lives matter, not the corporation, the movement or whatever, not the business aspect of it. Like, there's a reason for all those things, and I think it's really important that people discuss their point of views. So that's the whole idea behind it, is to create a community of people that discuss and share ideas and hear it from different perspectives, hear it from all, like, just articulate your viewpoint. There might be a reason for that. Like, me personally, I don't have, like, I don't know, I'm open-minded to everything. I don't know, I don't have all the ideas, I don't have all the answers, but I don't know. Let me see. What if about if your child is throwing a fit at a store? Ooh, see, that's a good one. Actually, I'm sorry, my cousin asked. That's something I was. That's something I was conscious about early on as a parent. Like, when I see that, I think it bothered me so much. That's something early on, before becoming a parent, that I wanted to address. So early on, I would train my son, right, when we go to the store, and we would, like, I would let him play with toys, and let him know that, we're not going to buy that. We're not going to buy that. We're not going to buy that. I would tell him no a lot early on. Like, there's a whole culture of parents that don't tell their kids no. That's a whole nother conversation. Yeah, you can actually talk about it here. There's parents that just will not tell their children no. I think it's so important to tell your kids no. If you don't tell them no at an early age, like, you're really going to set them up for disappointment, because at some point someone's going to tell them no, and if they don't know how to handle that kind of disappointment, like, you are setting them up for failure. So try to get them early, and just try to make a habit. Tell them no for the most basic thing, just so they can understand, that it's okay to hear no. It's all right. The world's not going to end. Life goes on. There's always tomorrow. Maybe you'll get it next time. But I would love to hear from a person that believes in not telling their kids no. I would love to hear the logic behind it, the mindset behind that, because I have no idea. I have no clue. I don't know why you would refuse to say no to your kid. I think it's good character building, man. It's like, if you learn that early on, you're not going to get so disappointed or taken aback when you have to confront that in real life, man. A teacher tells you no, a police officer tells you no, or someone else tells you no. Like, you already understand how to deal with that stuff. It's really, really important. Oh, you see, my cousin, her kid's favorite word is no. Your daughter's teaching you how to accept how to accept the word no. But you should definitely, like, tell your kids no for sure. If you allow fits of tantrums at home, it'll definitely happen in public. Yeah, and that's a huge thing, man. It starts in the house, man, because I never wanted to have to deal with that. That shit is embarrassing, for one. And it, like, even though you shouldn't give two shits about what other people think about you when you're out in public, but it just, like, it gives people the perception that you don't have control over your kid, and it makes you feel really, really uncomfortable. So it's just something that you got to do it early on and train them. Tell them no every so often, and maybe you have to explain to them, look, this is not what we came here for, all right? Or even like pre-screen them, or let them know ahead of time. Just be, look, we're gonna go to the store, right? I'm not buying you shit. You can play with the toys in the store. When you're done, you put them down. I am not buying you anything. Do you understand? Okay, repeat it. Repeat it after me. Mommy and daddy is not gonna buy you nothing. Do you understand? All right, now write it down. Mommy and daddy is not gonna buy you nothing. All right. What's gonna happen in the store? Nothing. That's right. Good boy. Good girl. Just train them early. Start early. Let me see what's in the comments here. Alzheimer's. How would you handle it? By product side, allows you chances. Oh, definitely happen before. That's true. Anyway, my Karimi, man, I'm let you go, man. I appreciate your time on the show, man. Hopefully, I will see you again soon, and we'll talk, man.
For sure. Thank you for having me in the podcast. I appreciate you.
Anytime. I'll send you the link to the Facebook group. All right.
Cool. No problem, man. Take care, guys. Everybody, keep asking questions. Don't be afraid. Peace out.
I'm gonna stay on. All right, so that was a friend of mine who I've known for several years, man. We've worked together at the Port Authority for a long time, made a really good friendship with him. And even after all these years, I had no idea that he had a learning disability. And that's something he just disclosed to us today for the first time. And I think it's really, really impressive what he's been able to do And I guess his parents did a really good job with whatever techniques they used to raise him, because he turned out to be a really, really good guy. He's very empathetic. He's always has the quest and thirst for knowledge and stuff like that, always doing his thing. So it's incredible how, you never know what people are going through and stuff like that. And it's just crazy. So if you guys have any questions, anything you want to add in reference, if you guys want to join the chat, have some talk, Gillette, I would love to hear from you, bro. I love having a conversation with you. You want to get in on this? Let me know. You could just get in without video. You don't have to get video. You could get in here with just audio. Make sure that the audio is off. I mean, the video is off. Hold on one second. I got you. Where is he? Where is he? Where is he? 2 seconds. You probably bounce. Yeah, I appreciate you, Abdulio. Appreciate you, man. Hold on one second. All right, G, I sent you a link. The link is gonna. Oh, you've been in the chat before. You know how the link works. You could just, when you're gonna join, just click off your video if you don't want to show the video. But if you want to talk, feel free to join and we can chop it up. I'd love to hear some of yours. I'm here to support. No questions at this time. Oh man, shut me down. Appreciate the love. Appreciate the support, man. Shut me down. That's all good. All right, so I'm going to share with you guys some of the stories I had growing up and some of the things I did to deserve them. Some of the worst ass whoopings I've got, I'll share them with you guys, right? And I'll tell you about it right now. One of the bad things I've done in my teens was we used to ride on top of the elevators. That was a technique we used back then because it was more of it wasn't like a automatic closing door. You had to pull it open. There was a way you could have done it where we used to ride on top of the elevators, right? So one of the passengers on the elevator we were riding was our neighbor. And on top of the elevator, you had access to the control panel. So you could stop the elevator, make it jump and stuff like that. And my older brother had this great idea to start talking to the people. And there was one time he started talking in Spanish to this older lady like if he was the devil, and she starts praying and shit. And she's like literally on her knees praying inside the elevator. You can see from the top. And anyway, there was one time I did it to one of my neighbors and stuff, and he was screaming that he's gonna find out who we are, right? So he held the door for the elevator. He was calling the police, so we had to jump off the top floor. He ran, caught up to us because we were trying to get home. He was literally our next door neighbor, and he was fuming. He was like, "You are on my shit list." My mother took us to the room and took a broomstick and broke that shit on my back. Got my ass whooped. Gee. You have any for fun? I want to thank you for joining. I appreciate it. This is and guys, just so you guys know, this is exactly how you can join anonymously. You could choose whatever name you want. As you can see, he chose to disclose his name. It's up to you, brother. It's up to you.
Yeah. Mic check. Mic check. You can hear me?
Yeah, perfectly. Perfectly.
Good.
Yeah, you have any stories from your
on
youth?
the couch. I just finished eating dinner. Had spaghetti stains all on my shirt and all that. So I was like, I'm watching football, but I definitely jumped on to support.
I appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you big time.
I thought I was gonna hear some horror stories of spankings and whatnot, but y'all had it real educational stuff, motivational. It was a good show. It was very good. I joined in a little late.
Well, thank you. There were some spankings. You probably missed that the spankings.
Yeah. I missed it.
You can rewatch later. You have any stories from your youth? Like, did you ever get your ass whooped as a kid? And did you feel less loved because of it, or you understood the nature of the ass whooping?
Oh man, I got spanked all the time.
Oh, your parents loved you. They said love hurts. Your parents loved you.
My mom came from a real strict Christian home where, 6 of them, and she grew up where if one got a spanking, they all got a spank.
Oh wow,
It was like,
that's extreme.
yeah, like from the oldest to the youngest. Like, they say the two
Oh man.
playing and somebody hits one, the other one hits back, and they start crying.
Hmm.
Go to the room and say, such and such hit me. And then when, my grandfather would come back to the room, everybody would get hit. And the old like, boy, I didn't do nothing. I'm doing my homework. He's like, yeah, but you sitting here watching it, allowing them to hit each other, so you getting hit too. So those
Damn.
stories I grew up hearing about, and as a result, my mom was a lot fairer. She gave me way more chances. She talked to me more. But when them spankings came, her favorite saying is, I'm gonna get you for old and new.
Oh, she has some in the bank for you.
Yeah, yeah. So, but the one thing I appreciate about the spankings now, when I reflect them as an adult, is that she always sat me down and talked to me after the spanking. And traditionally, people get spanked, kids get spanked and sent to their room. They cry it out, they go to bed, and that's it. The next day, you act like you didn't just get your ass beat, right?
Shit.
Like a parent never has to be held accountable for distributing that physical and mental pain you just put on your kid.
Right.
Say, I'm the adult and I'm the parent, and you do what I say. You take that, and you don't talk back. So that was one thing my mother. She didn't have the opportunity to express her feelings, so she always gave me that. But I had to hear from her first, obviously. So she would
Right.
tell on myself, sort of. So she's like, do you know why I hit you? Yes. Why did I hit you?
That's dope. All right.
Like that, right? So it forced me to acknowledge what I did wrong. It forced me to acknowledge that I got warnings, and it forced me to acknowledge that I knew it was coming, and I still did the opposite of what I was told. So, I do that with my guy. He doesn't get like the way I did growing up.
Right. Right. But
You
you
know,
see value in it.
right? He gets patted from time to time, and
Right.
um, I do the same thing. Like, I make sure, why, even if he gets punished, if we
Right.
put him on punishment, they love their electronics and stuff. So between his Nintendo Switch and his iPad to watch YouTube, when he misbehaves, we take that away.
Right.
Take it away and say, go sit in your room. We might take it away, make him come sit with us. Now,
Okay.
why you have your iPad? We make him tell us. So then these are things that are going to go through their head when they're making the decision to not follow your directions.
Right.
And I know it sounds easier said than done. It got me far, and I hope it helps him to have a decent moral compass without him having to, get all the whelps I had growing up,
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man, I had some rough ones. I mean, my dad, he was heavy-handed. He used to just drop his hand down, and like a smack would just knock me to the ground. Like, it didn't even hurt. It was just the weight of his
Yeah.
arm.
He's like, son.
But it demanded respect, though.
Oh, absolutely.
It demanded respect. And so,
You just took me back to like when some of the stuff my parents did. Like I was saying earlier, it's like if like they got parenting 101 from Julius Caesar and shit. They got like torture devices and stuff. I'm surprised there wasn't an iron bowl in my house. I swear to God, like the way we used to get disciplined. And one of the things that it's extreme, they should have got arrested. Mom, I know you're dead now, but should have been arrested. My pops should have been arrested. It's some crazy shit. It was torture. It was fucking torture. Some of the stuff. My dad used to tie us to the bed, right? So listen to the story. This is a fucked up story, right? You know why it's fucked up? Because I don't remember what the fuck I did. And if it's gonna be that extreme, you should at least remember what happened, right? I don't know what the hell I did. I was tied to the bed, right? And my older brother, he had this. I don't know where he learned this trick, but he tells me, oh, you want to see me make smoke? I'm like, go for it, right? Starts peeing on the side of the bed, right? He's pissing into the fucking socket. A little bit of smoke, right? I was like, oh shit, I'm a kid. That shit's pretty dope. All right, I'm gonna make a lot of smoke now. vroom, fucking lightning bolt goes into the side of the bed. The bed's on fucking fire, and I'm on the fucking bed. I'm attached to this bed that's on fire. I'm like, and then my parents come into the room. He gets in trouble, and I'm here to fucking tell you the story. That's just fucking crazy. Just why would you need to tie me to the bed? What did I do? Man, parents did some crazy shit.
I don't, we can never condone abuse and stuff, but a lot of the good decisions you make as a parent is
Right.
aware of bad decisions past parents have made.
And I agree with that 100% because it's like if you're learning by watching the stuff that you're trying to be the parent that you wish you had. And I love my dad. Like I tell you guys, he fucked up a little bit because the way he used to whoop my ass. But he also has a really, really big heart, man. He has a really big heart. He spent a lot of time with us. He was an active dad and stuff like that. But I guess, there were no limitations when it came to discipline. It was like I remember one time, like, again, I don't remember what the hell I did, but I think he was trying to go for the Guinness Book of World Records for longest ass whooping performed on a child. He's like, pop, 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 pop. I thought he was making an album, bro. And it got to the point where I didn't know what to do. I'm getting my ass whooped and he won't stop. So, instinctively I went, pop. I went to fake like I was going to hit him. And he said, oh, pop, pop. He gave me 2 more and then it was over. And I was like, damn, shit.
Well, I don't know. Like I said, we can't give excuses, but I just feel like, back in the days, a lot of parents had kids really young, and you were treated as an adult at a much younger age back in the day. And
Right.
everyone didn't really possess the skills. Like modern day times, you're taught about mental health. You're taught about proper communication. You're taught about how to express yourself through different emotions, how to anger management. Those weren't things readily talked about back in the days, amongst minorities especially. We weren't taught how to deal with anger.
Right.
And,
I agree.
I boil everything to just society. Like, you step outside, you have no control how you're treated by your fellow man. So when you're in your house and you have kids and it's like, yo, I'm out here busting my ass for this kid and he doesn't listen, he or
Right.
she doesn't listen, or they're tearing up the little bit that we have, or they're making mess, or they're spilling the juice all over the place. It's like, you don't necessarily know how to, teach us a lesson with a little self-control. It's either two things going to happen. Either you're going to carry on that tradition and be just as violent as them, or you say I don't want to be as rough with my kid as them, and you become a better parent. You take the good and you leave the bad behind to not repeat the cycle.
Yeah, man. It's funny how like how sometimes like that fight or flight method actually plays into like when you you get your ass up with a child. Cause it's another story, right? And my sister and my brothers could tell you, they can attest to this, right? When we were living up in Rochester with my mom, right? Again, it's like I don't know if she was in competition with my dad, but they were always trying to go for like the longest ass whooping they can give you. It's like one hit wasn't enough. It's like they're trying to cover every fucking. It's like they want to get every part of your body, right? So my mom is whooping my ass, right? Whooping my ass, right? And I'm like, shit, how can I get her to stop, right? I start to pretend like I'm having convulsions and I'm having a seizure and shit. I'm on the floor like this. And you would think that she would stop, right? She says, bitch, you want to shake? Gave me some more for good measure. It's like, what if I was really having like a fucking seizure and fucking foaming out the mouth?
As a kid and the person during pain, of course, it seems like it's going on forever. To them, they didn't think it's going on forever. Maybe they had a number in their head, 20 lashes.
That's what I said, man. Julius Caesar taught them how to freaking discipline. And I think it has to do with a lack of empathy and a lack of control of your emotions. Because sometimes when we act on emotions, like that's one thing I apply to my life as a husband and as a father, right? I don't act when I'm upset. I don't talk when I'm upset. I always take a breather first. I always stop. And my wife can attest to this, man. When I'm upset, there's no talking. Why? Because it's not going to be productive. It's not going to be good. And I'm not going to have something nice to say. And it's probably going to be something I'm going to regret. So I'm aware that when I'm upset, I wait till I calm down. I'll go out, go watch a movie, come back, and then we can talk about it. So I think that might play a role on it. Sometimes if you're just really upset at that moment in time and you're letting your emotions get the best of you, you're just operating on, you're just fueled by emotions.
Yeah.
And it's funny, my cousin said she regrets it when she yells it. I wonder if my parents regretted it or was it satisfaction? Yeah, I whooped his ass. Or they like, or they feel like, damn.
I can't say it loud with my son in the other room, but I always regret it after I have to pop him or after I yell
Yeah.
real good and he has a little sad face.
Oh, that gets you all the time, right? It's like,
Yeah, but you know, at the end of the day, the big picture is that I need him to recognize what he did wrong and work harder,
right.
not repeat.
Yeah. As long as you're not like
Fine.
some gang related shit, like you gonna respect my gangster son. You gonna respect the rules of my motherfucking house. Sergio's hold me. Hold on. Hello, guys. I'll put this on the fucking. Hello. Yeah, I'm live right now, bro.
My man, sir.
Hey, get on. Click it. Because I love you, babe. Alright. Alright, cool. I should be done a little bit, so I can edit this later or some shit. Just get on. We'll talk. We'll chat online. I'll be done in a minute. Alright, later. Sorry about that, guys. That was my good friend Sergio. He is my partner in the Media Chop Up podcast. If you guys are into movies, definitely go check out that podcast. We talk shit about all things movies, and it's a really cool show. You can check out the link in my bio, I believe. I also have it on the Instagram page. It's called Media Chop Up. We talk about movies. If you like movies, go over there. And that was Sergio. Sorry about that. I'm sorry, G, you were saying?
You were saying.
I was, wasn't I? What was I saying?
Yeah.
It's okay. I'm the same way. It's all right. I guess, yeah, back to disciplining and you know how we feel bad when they make the sad faces and stuff like that. But as long as it's not anger based, as long as you control, I think empathy is huge. Like having control, just emotional intelligence. That's another thing you gotta have. Like you should take classes on it. It's important. Just having emotional intelligence and understanding your emotional state. That way you could just be a more productive parent, or just a more productive human being. So just understanding when you're upset, why you're upset, is going to help you navigate your emotions and how to address almost any situation that you can apply to almost any situation in life. Look it up, research it, study it. I think every human being should be working on their emotional intelligence. I think it's way more important than IQ, and it'll take you a lot more further in life in any facet. Emotional intelligence. Look it up.
I don't know. I wanted to say something about what you said. That when you're mad, it's like the conversation ended. So it took me a long time to learn that some people needed that, because I had this feeling that, I don't want to talk about it later and get upset all over again.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times you don't talk about it later. You just come back around like nothing happened.
I feel you.
So for a long time, I used to push to have the conversation right then and there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no, if you need to be quiet, you'll be quiet. But we're not going to end it because you can't express yourself. I'm going to say what I need to say.
Okay, were those productive conversations when they turned out like that?
It's productive if you follow your own rule and not talking because you're going to talk slick. If you and I had an argument and you're like, nah, you know what, G, I can't talk right now. I'm upset. I'm like, you don't need to say nothing, but I need to get this off my chest. I'm going to say my part.
I can respect that. If you ask, if you're not asking me to participate and just listen, I can do that.
But a lot of
But
times,
that's I think the problem with that is that most conversations have to be interactive. So it's really hard if somebody's trying to get a point across. It's really hard for them to like just talk without getting feedback.
energy is what's contagious. So if you're ever calm and a conversation gets excited, even in pleasantries, and that person starts talking loud in excitement, you'll find that you start talking loud in excitement. So
Right.
it works the other way. And I have a very, hope I'm not boring your viewers. I have a very mellow voice. So when I'm upset, I actually get more calm than this because
Okay.
I want you to I want it to be just pure clarity. There will be no question of you don't understand. So I feel like that's your fault if you can't talk right now with this emotion. I could talk, so I'm gonna say my part. If you want to interject, you can, but follow my lead because I'm not gonna continue the conversation, but talk crazy. Like we're not continuing the conversation so that I can say hurtful things.
Right.
So
All right. Full disclosure, your voice makes me moist.
hey, you tell everybody. Come on now, tell everybody.
Tell
But
everybody. Yeah.
it's stupid. But yeah, like it took. What happened was initially when I was younger, it made things worse because I came across as pushy. Like I'm forcing a conversation. Like you're not giving a person space when they're asking for space. Like you try to walk away. I'm more talking about in the aspects of relationships. Like
Right.
not
Right.
walk away when I'm talking to you. And you're like, nah, I need a minute. I'm mad. Nah,
Right.
fuck a minute. I'm mad. I want to talk. Excuse my
You pull out the
language.
scorpion blade. Like, get over here.
You talk. It's okay. You can shut up. I want to talk. But I learned. When it benefited me was more so at work when dealing with supervisors. If the conversation got heated, that's when I would utilize it. You know what? We can continue this conversation another time. Say something that could possibly get me in trouble. I'm a regret, so I'm gonna step back. And that's when I realized the same way I want them to respect that I'm asking for space, I have to respect that person asking me for space. So I'm not so pushy anymore. I'm still a firm believer that I can have the conversation whether I'm angry or not. But if you ask for the space, I'll give it to you.
Okay. That's respectable. At least you understand that, sometimes people are not going to be receptive to what you have to say if they're upset. So as long as you're just conscious of, the other person's emotional state and, if you believe that it's going to be a productive conversation, if you believe that you're going to have something of quality out of it, then that's great. That's 100% great. Yeah, man.
You know.
Yeah.
My son, back to the original subject. My little guy close to your guy's age,
Right.
and
He's older, right? He's 9?
yeah, he's
Right.
nine in April, and I think early on, like even when he was still in Pampers, we did the little pat. I think I was discussing with you just the other day, a pat on the back of the hand.
Right.
Without it doesn't really hurt him. Like you're not hitting him to hurt him. You just
Right.
the reminder.
I
So then,
know.
as he got older, I used to, when I would repeat myself, I was like, "Give me your hand." He knows that's like a hit, and sometimes I don't even have to hit because he's already given the response of understanding.
Okay.
So I think for parents that don't necessarily want to chastise their kids with spankings, you you should create something that gives them a sense of fear for when they get in trouble. That's a
Okay.
tricky topic because people are like, oh, I don't want my kids to fear me.
Right,
But
right. That's what I was thinking for a moment.
but
When you say fear, do you actually mean like respect, or you actually want them to have like a fear?
in fact, when they're children, they understand fear as far as if they touch a hot pot, they touch something hot, it burns.
Oh, I
Fear.
got you. Right. You see value in that fear. I got you.
You understand? Like they know, oh, I can't touch it. That's hot. It's gonna hurt. So if you create something for them, which for me was, the smack on the back of the hand, though it doesn't hurt, they don't want that hit. So it's a gesture of fear to
Right.
get act right. Again, I'm not,
Yeah, we're not perfect. There's no handbook, man. We figure it out as we go. There's guidelines. There's this. It's tough because you have, if you look it up, like parenting, right? There's so many options, so many different routes to take, right? You can be a disciplinarian, authoritarian, a freaking, this it's crazy. But for the most part, those are just guidelines, you know? There's
yeah.
no right or wrong way to do it. You got to use whatever your kid is going to be receptible to.
And what I would tell people is a lot of times parents start off, I'm not going to hit my kid. I'm not going to do this. They almost upset the kid. Then what happens when the kid is like a preteen and starts cursing you out, or in,
Not on my watch.
in some cases hitting the parent, especially when it's like moms and stuff.
Oh, I see that.
The
That
way
shit is
you
infuriating, man.
instill that level of discipline. I don't I don't know anyone that has been an effective parent with simply saying yes all the time, like you
Yeah,
said, or
yeah,
let
but there
not.
is a culture of parents that they don't say no. They don't. It's just a some. I wish I had the study right now in front of me to tell you, but they don't believe that you should. It's about their emotional state. They believe that they can't handle it. I don't want to misquote, but there's a whole culture of parents who will not tell their kids no.
I mean, it's not always just a no, but it's like, so you're not going to tell your kid don't put the fork in the socket. You're going to say it's okay.
Interesting. And you know what? They if I'm not mistaken, they find other ways to do it, but they don't use the word no. They won't say no. They'll be like, you can't do that or something like that. It's something that just
Oh, that
so
work around, like that's dangerous. You don't want to hurt yourself.
right, but they just will not use the word no in that whole
And then,
subculture of parents that believes that no is just I guess psychologically damning thing. I'm not sure. I'll look it up and I'll post it in the notes or something like that. It's interesting,
I
like
don't
the different parenting styles.
I don't think it's for everybody. And you know,
No.
lastly, I'll say this: the spankings. You know, people say, "Do you think it helps? Do you think it's worth it? Do you think it benefits the kid, or does it scar the kid?" I think if you are chastising them with control, it's beneficial. And I'll say this: spankings taught me that there's consequences to my actions. Right.
Right.
So as a young adult, as a young teen growing up, when opportunities presented itself in the name of fun, I always had in the back of my mind, am I going to get in trouble for that?
Right.
And then it's like, at least you take a minute to think versus just following someone's, uh, just being a follower, or just being reckless for the thrill.
Yeah.
I assessed it more, and so because of it, I didn't get in trouble as much. Like, no, we're gonna have fun, we're gonna do stuff, but no, I'm not doing it. That's ridiculous. Like, that's big trouble. Like, you certain things is okay. I'm just gonna get yelled at. Okay, I don't mind risking it. This, no, I'm gonna get punished or grounded. Nah, I don't think I'm gonna do that this time. So
Yeah.
transition to your adult life, like, you know, hanging out with your friends and having a couple drinks, knowing you got to drive home. So are you purposely going to drink and drive, or are you going to say, you know what? I know when I get around uh, Serge and Rick, we're gonna have a great time, and I'm gonna be putting them back. I'm not even driving. I'm gonna leave the car and Uber back. Like,
Right.
I I put that to spanking. I
Okay.
put it all the way back to spankings, whereas recognizing that there's a consequence to breaking a rule. When you purposely break a rule, there's a consequence. So, yeah, that's that.
So every time you're gonna break a rule, you feel your ass get hot, right? It's got like that muscle memory. You're like, ooh, maybe I shouldn't do that. It's like muscle memory.
It's trouble. That
Yeah.
little, that little tingly feeling in the back of your neck when you know, ooh, I'm gonna get the jump in your stomach when the height of the roller coaster before it goes down.
Yeah.
Right, you get that feeling like, oh, chill, I don't want to get in trouble. And they be like, Rick, 10-1. You're like, oh Lord, what I did wrong,
Oh.
right? So
Yeah.
yeah,
Absolutely, man.
I think our generation, like the '80 baby generation, like the last of the really getting spankings.
Yeah, that's it. I don't think nobody does it too often. You know who I think still applies it? I think really young parents might apply it. Like parents who like maybe had kids and they're like in their teens, 12, 13, 14, whatever. And I think that has to do with again with patience, right? Because I think patience is a virtue that you learn with age. Patience is something that like it takes real experience to learn the value of it. When you're young, like you don't have that patience. Everything is a hairline trigger. Everything is a knee jerk reaction, right? Everything is reactive. Like you don't take a second to just sit back and think and wait. I think with age you learn patience, and that's something that I think it's huge that you have to apply, that you can apply to just being a parent. It's patience and knowing that the process is going to work. Stick to whatever you want. Like if you're going to discipline them, if you're going to spank them, if you're whatever you're going to do, I guess be consistent and just stick to it. And if it's not working, look up another technique, speak with your friends, speak with your other parents, and find out what's working with them. See how other kids are around their parents and find out what kind of techniques they're using. See if that could apply to your thing. Because another thing with me, man, it's like I don't know if this touches too much on discipline, but like I'm an extreme parent, bro. Like when I say extreme, it's like I don't want to put him nowhere by himself. I'm like always nervous, always scared, and stuff like that. And I don't know what that has to do with anything, but I just
You
have to throw it out there.
protective parent.
Huh?
You mean you're an overprotective parent?
I think overprotective is an understatement. Like real understatement. Like to the point where I didn't want my wife going anywhere with him by himself. And she can attest to this. Like, she's like, oh, I'm going to take him to the grocery store. Why? Let me get dressed. I'm coming with you. It's like, in my heart of hearts, I believe that no one's going to watch him as perfectly as I'm going to watch him. Because when we go out, it's like I do not take I can have a conversation with you and not make eye contact with you because my kid is there. Because he is number one priority. He is numero uno. He is everything.
Nothing wrong with that. That's just dedication.
Oh yeah, you can. I think there's a few people that might have an issue with the way I parent.
It's the opposite. Is a neglectful parent.
Right.
Have your issue. I wish there was more parents that was paying attention to what their kids were doing. If there were more parents paying attention to the kids, there'd be less kids snatched, less kids.
There you go. And that's all it takes. And that's my thing too, right? That's all it takes is that 1 second of negligence, right? And it's funny because I used to go to the parks and I would like observe these other parents and I like be like on my clock. I'd be like, holy shit, they haven't even looked up for like the last 5-10 minutes. Like literally anything could have happened. And that shit used to scare the shit out of me, man. I take my kids to the park and I'm like this.
Yeah. But times are different as well. In our age, we were outside young.
Yes.
Ourselves,
Yes.
For hours.
I started going outside alone when I was 6 years old. No exaggeration. I'm not saying that for jokes or to be funny. At 6 years old,
Listen,
my parents told me to go outside. How old were you when you started going outside alone?
same thing.
Yeah, right.
I was going outside 5, 6 years old. I could cross the street. I could go to the store. And they didn't know. It wasn't no beepers and cell phones and things like that. Once I was outside, I was outside. They didn't know exactly where I was. They know where they told me to be. Like I could go to the park here and stuff like that. But it was that era of growing up where you come in and then like the family's watching the news and you hear of this kid disappeared and that person was kidnapped. And so we always said like, where were the parents? How did they get grabbed? Like, how does no one see them? So you learn those things, and then when you get older and you have your kid, all those things go through your mind whenever you're outside, and you don't recognize the attachment you have to your kid when they're just asleep and you just look at them.
Oh, hi, every
You look at them like.
Then they wake up scared to death and they snuff you.
Yeah. My son will tell you, I'll be waking him up all the time. Like every night, our schedule. Every night he goes to bed, and I'll be like, before I leave, I'm gonna come see you before I leave, and I don't care if you sleep. I still, all right, man, I'm leaving, and love you. And I give him, you got to take care of mommy while I'm gone, and the little pep talks and stuff. But I think it's
a beautiful thing, man.
We were exposed to a lot. In our childhood,
yeah.
us very precautious and very dedicated to the
Mhm.
safety of our kids now that we're in the parent role.
Are you conscious of your kids' health as it pertains to foods, or are you the type of parent that let them eat whatever they want? That's another thing that is pretty interesting. Like there's parents who like are really extreme with like the health, so they won't allow their kids any sugar whatsoever.
Not
And
like
I get that there should be a healthy balance and stuff like that.
so. My dad had a deli. He had like a little bodega, so I had access to candies and sweets all the time. So
Right.
you know, I believe those things are for treats. They're not for every day,
Right. Yeah.
or they're not to keep you quiet and things like that. They're
That's what I
treats.
was talking about. Negotiation tactics, right?
Nah, like
I'll give you a little Twix if you shut the up.
yeah, nah. My son has a peanut allergy, so we
Oh, he
definitely
does. Holy shit.
we have to pay attention to what he eats.
Hmm.
But I'm definitely big on everything's not going to be sweets.
Right.
Um, we got to do some vegetables sometimes. We got to, you know, if he has something earlier, that's it for the day. Save it for tomorrow. And so, even like we do the Halloween thing and we let him do, he'll go with his cousins to a familiar place to trick or treat.
Hmm.
And, obviously when it comes back, we have to go through everything to take what he can't eat. And then when he has it, we let him know how much candy he can have a day. Like you're not going to sit here and eat a whole bunch of candy. Matter of fact, come ask us. So he'll be like, hey, can I have a piece of candy today? And,
Yeah.
to make it seem like it's not punishment and it's excitement. You really? So what type of candy you want to try today? So he's
Yeah.
here to come say, Dad, I want to try this one today. Can I try
Hmm.
this one? Like that. So we're not strict, but
Hmm.
we're not giving them free reign to just sustain life on sugar and snacks and stuff.
Me, I think I did a better job early on than I'm doing now. Now, like life has just gotten really, really busy. Like I was such a go hard parent early on, right? It was all vegetables, clean eating, everything homemade, and now it's more like I'm gonna order you some motherfucking pizza. Oh, what we having tonight? Chinese. I try to cook. I try to cook as much as I can, but there's some nights where the best recipe you can have is 10 digits away.
Yeah.
Hello.
I mean, we got a good mix of home cooked and then an occasional eat out. Most kids love pizza, so that's his favorite. Pizza's his thing. And
Yeah,
he doesn't he doesn't eat a lot of crap. He's not one
that's
of,
good.
he doesn't eat a lot of crap. He wants a snack from time to time. His thing is
Hmm.
milk. He loves milk.
Oh wow.
He loves milk. So if you let him, he'll drink milk with every meal
Hmm.
and stuff like that. But other than that, he takes a very long time to eat.
Oh my god. That's probably we talked about pet peeves on the Facebook channel. That is probably one of my biggest pet peeves when it comes to my son. He'll take 4 hours to eat an egg McMuffin. You know how small an egg McMuffin is?
Really?
Yeah, man. That shit used to stress me out. Eat your food is probably the biggest phrase I say in the house. Go eat your food. Go eat your food. Go eat your food. Can I have a snack? Did you eat your food? No? Go eat your food.
Yeah.
Oh. And then my argument is always, how come you never almost finish your snacks, but you can't finish your food? You eat all of your snacks. The whole thing. The whole damn snack is gone. But you still got 3/4 of your damn meal there. I did eat. I ate some of it. Okay, so then you can only have some of your candy. No, no, no.
Nah,
Arguing about that shit.
I'm doing with him. So like, the dining room is adjacent to the living room.
Hmm.
When he's sitting eating, we're watching TV. I feel like the TV is what's keeping him from. That's the only time we watch TV when he's eating dinner.
Right.
When he's not eating, he's back on his gadget.
Oh wow.
Make him sit in the seat that his back is to the TV.
That's dope.
Yeah,
That's
you know.
crazy. Yeah.
He'll-
You know what's a lost art these days? I don't know if it's just us or just like the way the world is today and how there's a lot of like homes with working parents and stuff. I think the art of like eating together as a family has become something that we don't do. I don't know if it's just us, but we don't do it as often. I think that's something we're trying to reincorporate into our personal everyday lives. It's like everybody grabs their plate of food and they retreat to their corner of the household and get lost in the electronics and stuff like that. I guess I want to attribute that to electronics. We're all lost in our phones, lost in our iPads, lost in our TVs, and I think it's kind of like it's like the old saying, like social media is actually antisocial, right? Because we're not, making those real connections. Sometimes a like substitutes a real life conversation or saying hello to your friend and stuff like that. And I think it takes a toll on families also. Like I said, like dinner's ready, everybody gets their plates, grabs their phones and the tablets, and goes in their own direction.
So we utilize half the dining room table.
Okay.
So like half of it's for eating, and the other half is just there. Like we keep flowers there, or sometimes put a piece of mail. So he always sits to the table. We sit on the couch, which is next to the table.
Okay.
We all eat at the same time. But
Right.
in the living room, so it's like the TV is there. So it's not
Yeah, I got you.
to talk.
Yeah.
We're just watching TV together.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing I have is the one rule is like no gadgets to the table. So
Okay.
he can't have a gadget while he's eating.
And we used to have a similar rule like that, and my son actually put me in my place one time. 'Cause I used to have that rule, like no gadgets, right? And the TV was on one time, right? And we all eating, and I'm looking back at the TV, and he says, "Daddy, no electronics," and I couldn't even get mad. I couldn't get upset, and I don't. When he's right, he's right. I don't argue, I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, you're right. Click, turned it off.
Mm-hmm. Now for the most part, when we're eating, I'm not messing with gadgets either. We're watching TV.
Mhm.
And occasionally he'll try to like, because the Switch plays YouTube as well, so he'll try
Mhm.
to Switch or the iPad at the table to watch YouTube, and I'm like, nah, put that away. We don't do gadgets at the table. So,
Right.
um,
Yeah, man.
the gadget thing is really bad. Like everyone says, oh, we want to watch this movie. As soon as it comes on, everyone's messing on the phone.
Oh,
We're afraid of idle time.
it's crazy. It's
And
crazy.
it used to be just for commercials.
Yeah, but nope. That commercial break is extended now because you started doing something else on your device.
Yeah, it's like during the show. Like the show's back on, you still back.
My wife is in the other room right now waiting for me to talk shit because I hate that. I love movies, obviously. This is why I started the podcast with the movies, right? I love movies. And if I'm going to watch a movie with you, I want you to pay attention.
Right.
I want you to pay attention. And if I know she's not paying attention, she'll tell you this. I'll be watching from the corner of my eye, right, man?
Yeah.
Now, on purpose, I'll be like, oh, shit, you saw what happened? No? What? Click, turn it off. I already saw it. I want you to watch it with me. You don't want to share the experience. Whatever.
Yeah, make her feel bad.
Yeah. Since she gets mad. That's why I don't like watching TV with you because you're a damn a movie Nazi.
We both do that. We both do that. Like
Not me, man. I'm a movie person, so if
no, we both be on some like watch it. But for me,
uh-huh.
I really like some of the shows she want to watch.
Right.
So that's why I'll be on my phone. But I'll be like, yeah, but you asked me to watch this with you and you still on your phone. So what's the difference?
Yeah.
What is really the difference? But
Yeah.
that's just the new regular. Like unless
Yeah.
it really makes you unhappy and you gotta like put your foot down.
Yeah,
But
man.
it's the new norm.
Anyway, man, we strayed so far off the subject means that we have run out of stuff to talk about, man. So I want to thank you so much for getting on and talking with me. I appreciate you, man. I want to thank everyone who's participated in the chats, everyone who's being proactive in the Facebook chat. Continue to do that. I appreciate it. And I will see you guys again next week, and I'll see you online. All right? G, take care, man. I will see you soon. Thank you so much.
Thanks
Take
for having
care, guys. Absolutely, man. Have a good one, man.
Good night.